I borrow a softball, buddy. Let's get in here with the old pal. Ho, 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 ho.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Friday the 13th part 4, the final chapter. Not really. Released in 1984. It was intended to be the final chapter, but money talks, ladies and gentlemen. This franchise was meant to end here for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the censorship and the boycotting of films, of slasher films, from parent groups and religious groups and all that. They deemed these movies too inappropriate for the youth. They were. You also had the creative burnout from producers.
What I want to do now is I really want to bring this thing to an effective close.
They felt like it was time. It was time. 4 movies in. What else can we do? What else can we do with this premise of guy goes and kills random teenagers at cabin or camp? How many more movies can we do of that premise alone? You got the return of Tom Savini to come back and kill the creation that he made in the 1980 movie. And so it's a full circle moment for him. The person that didn't return was part 2 and 3's director, Steve Miner. We have Joseph Zito here in the director chair, and he ran a tight ship. He was not an easy man to work with, to say the least, on set during the production of part 4. Almost caused some actors to walk off set due to his high demands on production of this film and getting a perfect shot and getting things done. Even though he was a demanding director, he made the best film in this franchise, in my opinion. I just love this one. I love part 4. Part 4 to me is where this franchise peaks. In this film, we are following a family. That's a change, right? It's usually the random teens, they're still here. But we are following the Jarvis family. You have Mama Jarvis, Trish Jarvis, and Tommy Jarvis. And, that's a change, a much needed change in my opinion, because it gives you at least somebody or a group of people that you actually care about, and you don't want Jason laying a hand on them. You have them as well as the random teens that are renting out a place. I guess you could say this is an 80s Airbnb type situation, but a group of teens move in or are staying at the house next door to the Jarvis family. So those are your meat bags. They are here for 2 things: eye candy and to get killed. So there you go. And then you have the character of Rob, who was searching for his sister, Sandra, from part 2. This movie is just a perfect package wrapped into one that could have been the proper send-off. It could have ended here if they really stuck to their guns and they really decided to say, hey, we are not going to move on with this franchise. They could have ended it here if they wanted to. But as I said, money talks. And speaking of money, at the box office, this movie pulled in $32.9 million on a $2.6 million budget. And it was the 26th highest grossing film of 1984. So let's get into it. As far as what I liked about Friday the 13th part 4, this movie is everything. This is peak 80s slasher right here. This has everything that you would want from an 80s slasher. You got the villain, you have the great kills, you have the return of the dark setting here in this movie. After part 3 was just bright as hell. Joseph Zito, and I don't know who was the cinematographer for this movie, but they bring that darkness back. And I love the score by Harry Manfredini. This is my favorite score in this entire franchise. Peak 80s slasher right here. Ted White's version of Jason, I gave Richard Brooker his flowers in the last episode, but here I'm giving Ted White his flowers because he is the best human version of Jason. Ted White adds a little bit of that mean streak. I'd said Richard Brooker has brute force. Ted White has that too, but he adds a little bit of a meanness to it. Like, he's very mean and gritty with his kills here. He's terrifying. Ted White's version of Jason is terrifying. He's big, he's broad, he's more calculated, and he's just a mean son of a gun. These kills show for it, man. Sticking with the kills, these kills are some of the best in this franchise. You got the harpoon gun to the crotch. You have the spear through the back. That's such a great kill because of how it's shot. When one of the twins is leaving, he's outside in the raincoat, and the camera passes her, and it's going toward the house, and it's thundering and lightning outside. And once that lightning strikes, you see the silhouette of her, and then you see Jason approaching her with the spear, and he jabs her in the back. You have that kill. You have the Crispin Glover kill. He says this line,
Ted, hey, Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew?
Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis brings just some kind of charm to this character. It just makes you care for the kid. This is the first time really that a kid is in the path of Jason. Him being the main protagonist, in my opinion at least, it just works out well in this movie's favor, and it makes the movie interesting. The final chase scene here, I think, is one of the best in this franchise. Trish and Rob go to the other house to check everything out because everything is so dark over there. They get to the basement and they're about to leave, but Rob, for some reason, his stupid ass goes back down to the dark basement. You can't see anything. He's talking about, I gotta get a knife. I have to get that knife. Bro, leave that knife down there before it get used on you. Anyways, he goes down there. Jason appears and he pins him to the wall, and he gets some kind of, I don't know, tool from the basement, and he starts wailing on Rob. After that happens, Trish runs back to the Jarvis house. He's like, Tommy, you need to go and get some nails and some boards so we can nail up this damn door. Jason throws Rob's body in the window. Then he breaks through the window and grabs Tommy, and Trish is hitting him on the head with the hammer, and it just goes from there, and he busts through the door. The same door she just nailed, by the way. He chases them upstairs, and it gets to a point where Trish is luring Jason away from Tommy. She runs back to the team's house. Jason's on her tail. It's just terrifying to see him just hauling ass after Trish. After all that, you get that stun of Trish jumping out the upstairs window, and it's in slow-mo, and she just falling down, or her stunt double is. And then after she falls, Jason looks out the window. He looks down. He sees her. So final chase scene here, that back and forth between houses, is pretty great, and it leads to the finale of this movie, where you have the death of Jason Voorhees himself, ladies and gentlemen. During that chase sequence, Tommy is upstairs shaving his head. He's picked up Rob's newspaper clippings of what Jason looked like, and so he's shaving his head to try to look like Jason. And Trish walks back into the house, Jarvis' house, and Jason's on her. He sneaks up behind her. She feels him too. She feels that somebody's there, so she gets the machete. She tries to play it off, and she swings it toward the doorway. And you get that amazing effect when she has the machete, and she catches Jason's left hand, goes up on it, and it's split. Jason gets a hold of her, and he's about to kill her until Tommy runs downstairs, and he has his head shaved. His head is completely shaved, and Jason sees that, and he just memorized Shades of Part 2 when Jenny was in the sweater and trying to trick Jason by being his mother. And so Jason walking toward Tommy, and then Trish gets the machete, and she picks it up, and she swings at Jason's face, and he becomes unmasked, and he turns around, and ooh, that is a look only a mother could love, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy gets the machete, and Jason turns around again, and Tommy just swings the machete in Jason's face, and Jason falls down. He's grunting, and he's in pain, and he slides on the machete, and his eyes just going everywhere. Just special effects galore. This is the best thing Tom Savini did in this franchise to me. And this is the best death that you can ask for a villain. If you thought that wasn't enough, once Tommy is hugging Trish and he sees Jason's fingers start to twitch, he gets that machete. He just goes ham on just Jason's head. He's like, it's slow-mo. He's just whacking at Jason with the machete. He's screaming. Die! Die! If this was going to be the end, which it was intended to be, I think the ending to this movie, it was perfect. It did what it needed to do to end this franchise and move on. Jason Voorhees is dead. There is no coming back from that death. And so, perfect ending, in my opinion. As far as what I'm on the fence about part 4, some of the teen characters here, some of them are memorable to me. They're funny as well, but they stick out like a sore thumb. You can tell all these characters are gonna die. The Jarvis family are here for one reason: to get the audience at least somebody to care about, or a group of people to care about. These teenagers, they're just here for the kill count. They're here for the body count. They're one-dimensional as all can be, and they're just normal teenagers, and you're just waiting for Jason to just pick them off. So that's what you have here, as usual. I may be in the minority here. I'm not a big fan of Crispin Glover's dancing. I know that's a highlight for some people in this movie, but for me, it's not terrible, but it's just cringy. You have that moment for me that's cringe. You have that moment in the hospital, in the morgue, when the nurse, her and Alex, the mortician, for some reason are making out next to Jason's body, who is under the cover, or under the sheet rather, and his hand falls from the gurney and he touches the nurse's thigh while she's on top of Alex. They jump up scared. You know, that dialogue she gives in that moment after Alex had his meltdown, she starts to just say some stupid crap like,
"You gotta get that sucker in the icebox! I must be nuts! I mean, I'll tell you where I'm going! I'm going crazy!"
Like, that moment to me, I find it cringy. It's not funny to me. It's very cringy. Just humor that doesn't really land for me personally, but if you like it, if you dig it, happy for you. And finally, Rob's place in the story feels random. He's on the hunt for Jason Voorhees. He has all these weapons, he's geared up, but ultimately he doesn't really do anything to avenge his sister's death. It makes his place in the story feel just there, instead of him actually doing something to avenge his sister, like maybe being part of the final battle with Tommy and Trish in the Jarvis house. Maybe he could have did something meaningful there, you know, but Rob is just here, man. Now, I don't really have a negative or anything I didn't like about part 4, except the fact that this is a broken record for what I'm about to say, but the MPAA, them cutting all the kills in this movie. Now, the effects are great, but the MPAA, which is probably another reason why they wanted to end this franchise, were on their asses, because Friday the 13th is the main slasher franchise, right? Let's pick at them. Let's always be on their tail about the gore they have in their films. So it's no different here. But that is it, guys. Those are my thoughts and opinions about Friday the 13th part 4, the final chapter. Tell me what you think about this one in the comment section below. Do you like this one? Is this one your favorite, or is it overrated? I would like to hear a hot take or two. Is part 4 overrated to you? Is this movie held up to be some kind of great slasher film and it's just as generic as the other ones released around this time? Let me know that as well. I would like to hear it. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Check me out when I do Friday the 13th part 5, the new beginning. And until next time, guys, I'm Bran. Thanks for watching. Peace.